Hey guys, I'm gonna make a Captain Falcon matchup chart for Super Smash Bros. Melee, and this matchup chart will be about average high-level tournament games. Assumption that it's like LAN or good connection, best of fives with no bans, and that both people know how to play the matchup. So we'll just jump right into it. I'd say let's start with the Spaceys. Spaceys are like the gold standard for like in tournament Melee. You know, like can you beat the Spaceys? And it's pretty challenging no matter who you play. And so 2021, I'd say Fox is along with Falco, probably the hardest for Falcon, like pound for pound. There's some other characters that come close, but you know, it's a very fast-paced match for Fox. A matchup where if he shines you once or grabs you, you can like die at any percent. And on the flip side, he can die pretty quick too, but he's got a million tools that I feel eclipses Falcon. He can play aggressive, he can play defensive, like you really gotta play Fox, and if you're not playing your best, like a lower level Fox, then you can potentially pull upsets, and it wouldn't be that shocking. So yeah, current landscape of tournaments, I'd say Fox is the hardest. Second hardest, before I said Falco was Falcon's worst. I'd say nowadays the meta kind of shifted, but not enough to say that Falco is still not like a top two tough opponent. Before I'd say easily Falco's the worst. Reason being lasers are in the past like really broken. Falcon's just a big target, you know. Like Falcon, even when he like dashes, other characters like kind of duck. Like Fox and Marth, they duck. Sheik. Falcon's like always easy to hit with lasers, and on top of the laser game, he can get comboed easy, you know, and you really got to be on point. It's all about the micro spots where Falco has the upper hand, like for most of it, and you got to thread the needle and find your opening, or they got to make a mistake. And once you do, you got to make sure you punish hard. Like Falco is a glass cannon, more so than Fox, but your execution has to be on point once you get that one opening. And say you're a little bit off when you know your moment comes to shine, then it'll just be a rough time. Kind of similar to Fox, but in a different way. It's like a slower, more annoying matchup for sure. But you know, the Falcon meta has progressed to the point where things aren't as bad as they used to be. Still bad. For example, like when you get lasered, you can like CC the laser and the stuns less. Crouch canceling laser. There's a lot of tricks with that. You can like counterattack Falco out of it. Key moments, but you know, overall still bad. In top two worst matchups, I'd say Fox Falco. Next on the list, I'd say is Sheik. Debatable between 6'4" and 55-45. I'd say Sheik. Tough matchup again, but not as brutal as Fox Falco on paper. Reason being, Sheik definitely beats like Falcon in neutral, and has like a really easy, like non-nuanced punish game. But the thing is, like the Sheik matchup, the way she fights Falcon, it's very like binary. Like there's not as many tools she has. The tools are great, right? But she has way less tools than say like a Fox Falco for mixing you up. And once you figure out like the Sheik's like flow and gameplay, in top level Sheiks, they tend not to mix it up when you figure them out. And Sheiks gets easily punished for the most part. So I'd say on average, Sheiks kind of got easier, even at top level compared to the Spaceys. Still rough, still annoying to play. Like still Falcon's most hated matchup for a good reason. But for sure, the matchup got a little more close to even, and there's a lot of room to outplay Sheik. There's nuances with like crouch canceling and counterattacking that did not exist in the past. So I start with Sheik. Number 4, in my opinion, is Marth is a tough one too. You know, Marth could potentially be Falcon's worst matchup, but 2021 top level tournament, most Marth means simply they don't maximize playing the matchup for sure. Like Marth wins neutral, can wall off Falcon hard, and you play someone like Zane, he can touch death you from like almost any spot. That being said, Marth, there's a lot of counterplay you can do, kind of similar to Sheik. with like the new school like defensive game, like CC and all that. And it's a snowball matchup. It can snowball in Falcon's favor quick. There's like Marthritis where he hits you to like above 180%, and it's just a big pain for Falcon to kill Marth because the nature of how he hits Falcon, sometimes he recovers high. So it's not all bad, and it's a fact that the Marth mains they're spacey assassins and pretty good against like Sheik and other characters, but for some reason still pretty weak against Falcon. And my assumption is they treat Falcon like he's a spacey, which is not the proper way to play. And while the Marths have gotten better historically, it's still like it's still really rough for Falcon, you know. I mean, like Marth got better fighting like Falcon, so it's not even like people say. It's like far from even. And in the future, I think Marth will only get worse. But for now, it's like a 55-45. Puff's in a weird spot currently. After Rollback came out and like Hungry Box kind of falling off skill wise for whatever reason. You know, Puff as Rollback like came out and people started grinding the game like crazy. The average skill went up like drastically, while the Puff the meta hasn't changed at all. That being said, there's a lot of like abusive tricks that Puff has against Falcon that I still think are really good. Like Puff is the best stalemating, and Falcon is pretty good at it too. But Puff can be more like I think she has a little more in terms of bag of tricks. Like she can duck grabs, like rest you out of like a whiff grab, and very brutal punish. You kind of have to like out camper or out player, in my opinion, to get the true upper hand, and you have to get grabs somehow. And she has a really good way of not getting grabbed just by ducking. So I think Falcon still loses slightly. And considering this is tournaments, people choke a little bit more in tournaments, so that's what Puff drives off of. So I got to give it to this very slight edge to Puff still, even if she's kind of fallen off. Next in the relevant characters list, there's like Peach. So Peach, a lot of people say it's like even-ish, but Falcon wins. I think Falcon straight up beats her because Peach has to play like a really defensive game. I mean, she hits like a truck still. That's like her forte, where you know, one random dash attack looks really stupid, but it hits you, and then now she can like chain grab you or fuck you up real bad. That's like Peach's forte against like the fast fallers and some semi floaties. But you know, Falcon I think has a fantastic time dueling her in neutral, both as like a lame defensive type or offensive. Like Peach has to play like super safe and methodical to the point where that's the only way she can play. She's predictable, and Falcon does win neutral if you know how to play it. The caveat is that Peach can fuck you up if she gets a good opening, opens you up, and I think Falcon does beat Peach on every stage, even FT. Final Destination, people, you can get chain grabbed, but Falcon has like the speed and neutral to never get grabbed, basically. So you gotta get fuck up and get grabbed twice, and then it's like slight Peach advantage on that stage. Otherwise, I think Falcon wins on every stage. The best Peaches have like the best defense. They can totally pull the W pretty consistently. After that, let's go to Pikachu. So Pikachu's weird. A big buff that like the only relevant Pikachu X has is that you know, no one knows how to play Pikachu that well. But I watched like Wizzy play X the last like 2 or 3 times, and I think Wizzy low key has like a good Pikachu training partner, and I see Wizzy just like stomp X every time. And I always thought Falcon beat Pikachu. It's like a gimmicky neutral that once you figure out, like, it's not too bad. Pikachu does fuck up Falcon. I mean, who doesn't fuck up Falcon, right? Punish game. But you know, I think pound for pound, Falcon wins neutral handily enough, and Pikachu being like a floatier type, easy to combo. It's got enough off for like the gimmicks, and there's some damn strong gimmicks. But once you like figure them out, like that's kind of what Pikachu has on the play sometimes. Only the gimmicks. So there's no like long term viability for Pikachu against Falcon. I feel. I mean, you can still beat Falcon, but it's just not like a people. Oh, Pikachu won in the past. It's not quite the case anymore. As more Falcons learn the matchup, and stages could turn it around. Pikachu has a really easy chain grab, but getting the grab itself is tough. Pikachu is fast, but his grab range is like very tiny, right? So same deal with like Peach. Does not get the grab on FD, then Pikachu's ass is grab sometimes. Samus, Falcon does work on Samus. Like it's not even funny. Like we're at the point where Falcon beats like the characters like in every way possible. Like neutral, you can argue it's kind of even if the Samus knows what they're doing. Most Samuses do not. All the top level Samuses kind of quit the game, so we're left with the next tier. But even if like say like Duck or name any Samus still played there's still like a clear 6-4 at least because neutral is at least even. I think Falcon does win neutral. A lot of people say it's impossible, but I think it's kind of even. In terms of like punish, Samus looking like across the board, she has to gimp Falcon. She has to like get Falcon off stage and gimp him, and that requires like a lot of misplay on Falcon's part. And even like for recovery, like Samus sucks asset like edge guarding Falcon if he recovers high and uses like platforms to trick Samus. Why? Because Samus is like a little too floaty and awkward and slow to the point where they kind of have to guess. They gotta flip a coin. That's how I know this character probably sucks because they suck ass at edgeguarding Falcon. Next, Yoshi. One of the worst matches for Yoshi is Falcon. Amsa thinks that it was maybe Falcon or Yoshi's worst. Again, like a lot of bag of tricks like Pikachu, except the bag of tricks are like there's even less than Pikachu's, and Falcon does a great job at countering Yoshi. Like Yoshi's got the parries or the shield drops and platforms, but Falcon has like the range and maneuverability to make it backfire. So if they go for like the parries, the grab combos are easy. You gotta like Yoshi's gonna play the magic whack, and if you don't respect it enough, that's how the Yoshi's come back because the punish game is still there for Yoshi. But they're forced to play like a hyper defensive neutral, kind of like how Amsa played it back in like pre-COVID times because they have to. Otherwise, Falcons runs the train. So yeah, 6-4 if the Yoshi plays like smart as fuck. Way worse 6-4 if not the case. And we're getting to the rest of the matchups. Almost at the who gets a fuck point. Let's talk about ICs. Even with wobbling, ICs get rocked with Falcon because you hit a clean hit once, like a knee to like Nana Popo. You're gonna like you can already kill Nana or Popo and the shield's low. So fundamentally Falcon outclasses them. The question is like what about wobbling if it was legal? You gotta fuck up to get wobbled, basically like big time. And most top level ICs, like the ones who've had the most success in the past, not all of them, but most of them, they literally just like gimmick to wobble every time. And if you have experience, you don't choke. You're kind of smart. Then ICs will get dumpstered every time. They should get dumpstered with Falcon. And without wobbling, at least 70-30. Like, so yeah, ICs. Falcon is the true counter if you know how to play it. That Dr. Mario, worth mentioning, annoying character. But ultimately Falcon outranges him. His moves have too little range. Kind of his downfall is he can get walled out, and Falcon is no exception with like even just naring in place. Pretty good combo game on Doc. And Doc has to play mostly a very defensive game. So that makes him more one-dimensional, which is kind of a common theme amongst the characters that Falcon beats that's a floaty. Like, they had to play a certain way just to have a chance to win. And that makes him predictable. But they got no choice. And Doc's one of them. And after that, I'm probably gonna repeat myself, so everyone here else here is trash. Here, I'm gonna order the trash tier for the matchups against Falcon, roughly, but you know they all kind of have the same problem. They all suck. In spite of the matchups getting to sum it up, Falcon loses to the 5 characters above him, and you gotta outplay them to win. But melee being deep and having a high skill cap, and Falcon still having a bag of tricks and a lot of tools. You know, like you shouldn't care too much about matchups that hard. You should care more about being the player versus player, like more than half the time. But yeah, Falcon does lose on paper to these guys. Spacies are tough. Will never not be tough. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and make sure you follow the Beastcoast channel for more of these types of videos from all of us, all of the pro players from each of our games. And I'll probably make a lot more of these too for Melee. Peace out.